Salute and what's good, everybody? Thank you for joining Reasonable Wrestling, Raw Takes with Chidi Bang. And tonight we're going to review the May 13th episode of Monday Night Raw and the quarterfinals of the King and Queen of the Ring. Stay tuned. I'm just realizing that I probably was muted that entire intro. My apologies. But basically, we're going to review the May 13th episode of Raw and these quarterfinals of the King and Queen of the Ring. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to run down the night. It was pretty uneventful, if you ask me. We started off with a Drew McIntyre promo. Obviously, the dude is obsessed with CM Punk. He kept talking about how CM Punk's ducking him. Low key, he kind of CM Punk is kind of ducking him. He's kind of trolling him, showing up when he leaves the ring. Going down from the skybox to the ring when he went up there. It's what we've been seeing with that. I think they're just stretching out this storyline with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre till we get till Clash at the Castle in Scotland. So with all that being said, it's cool to see them just keep it hot, keep it relevant. But there was a new wrinkle because we had Drew McIntyre also take shots at Damian Priest. He called him a paper champion. He said that he's an example of the champion making the man instead of the man making the championships, and that the championship is in its infancy stage and needs a man like Drew McIntyre as champion. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that might be true. Some of that, but with all that being said, we've seen this before. Championships have been um, on people that helped make them more prominent stars over time. I think this is an opportunity for Damian Priest to prove why he is a main eventer with the championship title. I think his work on the promo where he called out the hypocrisy and Drew McIntyre of blaming everybody but himself and just letting him know, hey, at least I'm still a champion. I thought it was good. It was good. I think that it's true. Like he's made a lot of efforts to kind of like make sure that Damian Priest didn't cash in. So the opportunist moment where Damian Priest actually cashes in on Drew McIntyre happens to be his downfall. So that all that came into light, and we haven't really talked about that since WrestleMania. So it's cool to see them chop it up in the ring, and and he also said, "Hey, listen, you want a championship title match? You got it." So he wasn't ducking nobody. Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest wasn't ducking Drew, and that's how that segment ended. So we could look forward to possibly at some point seeing Drew and Damian this summer, I believe. Let's see what else we got here. Right after that, we got to look at the new King and Queen of the Ring crowns, and damn, they're fucking iced out, bro. Like they're iced the fuck out. So there's gems on it or diamonds or whatever you want to say about it. We're definitely in a new age of wrestling where the bedazzling is the thing, is the hot rage. You look at the AEW championship, which is nice. But I mean, I'm not mad at it. I like it. But yeah, they're iced out as fuck. The first quarterfinal matchup of the night was Io Sky and Shayna Baszler, and kind of like last week, the start, like the first match with Io, is one of my favorite matches of the night. I think Shayna Baszler and Io, they work well together. Michael Cole did bring up that they do have a history of working together in Stardom, so that was interesting. I like the fact that we are not ignoring other companies. We're not ignoring NXT feuds. We're not ignoring any of that stuff. They brought up later on in the night that Ilya Dragunov defeated Gunther before. He's one of the few people to actually defeat Gunther, and I thought that was ill. We usually do not get to see them mention other things like that, like like other things that we might not know of, and give the fans more insight to other companies or other places where these men and women wrestled. So it's cool to see them, show some love and keep some continuity with the history for people who are paying attention. Because I didn't know that they competed in Stardom until today. So I learned something. But the match started off with Io. Well, they did show a segment where backstage they kind of they arrived at the same time and they were beefing. But Io made her entrance, and Shayna Baszler did attack her to start the match. Shayna targeted Io's arm the entire match, and Io targeted Shayna's knee. There were some great reversals and counters, and Io won with the over the moonsault. One of the best matches of the night. Once again, I'm a big fan of Io Sky. She's always puts on great performances. After that, we had segments with the Alpha Academy. What's his name? Chad Gable set up matches where Akira Tozawa will be competing against Sami Zayn, and Otis was going to pick or supposed to face against Bronson Reed, but then he switched it. He's like, no, I need Otis to take out Sami Zayn, and Akira Tozawa, this is an opportunity for you to show what you got. And he's like, damn it, Kira, if I see that dance. And he's like, damn it, Otis, if I see that move, the worm, it's a problem. So you got Otis Gabe doing his best heel work right now. He even called Taylor, called Maxine Taylor not so swift, which I thought was kind of funny, and told Ivy now that she should like stop wasting time on her. So Chad Gable was doing some really good work. After that, we had the quarterfinals King of the Ring match of Kofi versus Gunther. This is Kofi's revenge match for Xavier Woods. Gunther taking him out with his knee, and the match played into that theme. Kofi attacked Gunther before the match to then also injure or like weaken his knee throughout the match. The match started with Gunther trying to overcome the knee. Kofi Kingston went out for a suicide dive. Gunther caught him, slammed him onto the announce table, and slammed him into the ring. Which from that point on, Gunther seemed like he was in firm control. There were some moments in there that Kofi did. It was a good match. Like there were moments where Kofi had his chances, but all in all, Kofi did not pull out the victory. Gunther ended up hitting him with a powerbomb and tapping him out with the Boston Crab. I like the Boston Crab move for Gunther. I think it works. It's been a long time since it's been used as a finish, like a very long time. So come on, if you've been wrestling, a wrestling fan, and if you ever wrestled like your friends or your cousins or your brothers and sisters, the Boston Crab is a go-to. And if you've ever been inside the Boston Crab, that shit fucking hurts. So I love it for Gunther. He's a very traditional wrestler, so that traditional move fits. There was a moment where Kofi almost went with a count out because of the Trouble in Paradise, but they weren't able to. Gunther got in the ring to break up the count. So Gunther wins. He moves on to the semifinals. After that, we got Bronson Reed versus Akira Tozawa. It was a quick squash match. Brunson hit him with the Death Valley Driver and a tsunami. It was very quick. After that, we got Adam Pearce with Braun Breaker backstage. And I remember I talked about Braun Breaker and how I want to see Braun Breaker kind of get hot-shotted into the main event or into a prominent feud with like a main eventer or upper mid-carder. Well, I don't think we're going to get that because Adam Pearce says that he didn't put him in the King of the Ring because he didn't, let me see here. Quote, he said he didn't want to throw him into the deep end. Which is BS because Lara Valkyria is also brand new. Actually, a lot more brand new than Braun Breaker, and she's in the Queen of the Ring tournament. I think it was just a moment to get Braun Breaker on TV, show that he's frustrated that he's not in the tournament. That's fine, but I really want to see where he goes after Queen of the Ring, King of the Ring. I want to see Braun Breaker heat up towards SummerSlam and see what he got going on. I think there's a lot of opportunity on Raw for him to have feuds with some of the top guys there, and can't wait to see what they do with him next. Queen of the Ring tournament final match. Queen of the Ring quarterfinals match. Zoe Stark and Lara Valkyria had a match, which another good match there. I like both of these women. I'm very big fan of both of them. I think Lara Valkyria is extremely precise, and I think so is Zoe Stark. So they had a good, pairing there. But Lara never has like a match where I'm like, oh, this was kind of sloppy. There's some people that you see that, or even have been in business for a very long time, and sometimes they can be a little sloppy in their work. Lara is so smooth, so slick, and very precise on her maneuvers. They connect. It's always sharp. So I really like her style. But Lara, and there was a good counter with the Z360. Zoe tried to hit that finish. but Lara counted it into her finish, which I thought was really dope for the victory. Hit there with the Nightwing. Moving on, uh, I'm looking forward to Io versus Lara. So that's next week. It looks like the semifinals will be taking place on television, unfortunately, because I've been saying for the past couple of weeks that I prefer there to be the semifinals on the night of the actual PLE because it gives like an old school feel. Back in the day, the tournament would have at least, you know, a round before the finals on the pay-per-view. So there will sometimes be like an injury angle where, oh, can this person overcome the injury from previous on in the night? Get to see them compete twice. But it looks like we're going to see just the finals at the PLE, which I think is kind of lame. But I guess what they want to do is they want to get the tag titles on there as well. There was a tag team number one contendership fatal four-way that's going to set up the match for King and Queen of the Ring as well for against who competes against Awesome Truth. So they're going to add more matches. I know we got Sammy, Bronson Reed, and Gable. So I get it. We're just going to get the finals for a man and woman, and that's it. Not to mention there's 2 tournaments going on at the same time, men and women. So I get it. So you don't want to have 4 matches, for each for the King of the Ring alone. That would be 2 women's. Well, it would be 6 matches. It'll be 2 women, 2 men, and then the finals for each. So I can see why they're not putting the semifinals matches on the PLE, but I would prefer it. Personally prefer it. Anyways, after that, we got Sami Zayn versus Otis. I love Otis. That Otis is a big star in the making, especially when he finally turns on Chad Gable or stands up for himself. There was layers to this tonight where Gable told Otis to not do the worm. Otis did a verbal in the match, and he did hit the worm on Sammy. Unfortunately, he missed the splash after that. Sammy recovered, hit him with the Hallelujah Kid, and got the victory. So after the match, Chad Gable's just berating Otis and just, berating him, pushed him in the head and all that stuff. Sammy came to defend him, and he got out the ring. Chad got out there before he got hit with the Kaluva kick. And on the way up the ramp, Chad Gable slapped the shit out of Otis. So the fans were chanting Otis's name, and they're on edge. They want to see Otis make that stand up for himself. But seeing him be like the bullied, member of Alpha Academy, or see Chad, I think it does well for both of them. Chad gets over as a heel, and Otis right now just gets that sympathy card. So when Otis eventually does stand up for himself against Chad, it's going to be a huge pop. Moving on, we got Dakota Kai versus Becky Lynch. It was a standard match between the two. Damage Control eventually attacked Becky, forcing a disqualification. And Lyra Valkyria came in for the save. She had a standoff with Io Sky, which will be the semifinal match next week that they will be having. And then Liv Morgan got a cheap shot in on Becky Lynch after the match too. Not much happened there after that. We had a backstage segment where we were reminded that Hila defeated Gunther. So after that segment, I personally thought, oh, maybe, Hila will defeat Jey Uso when we get that match, But when I started to realize, hey, we're not getting that match at a PLE. We're getting a semifinal match on Raw. I was like, oh, we're probably going to get a rematch of Jey Uso and Gunther, which happened before WrestleMania, So, and sure enough, that's what we will be getting. And before the main event, we did have the Fatal 4-Way to determine the number 1 contendership for the Tag Team Championships. That was Finn Balor and JD McDonough that competed against Newcastle Republic versus the Creed Brothers and AOP. My take on it is I'm rooting for AOP. I'm a big AOP fan, and honestly, I like the Creed Brothers a lot too. They're legit, but I really want the Final Testament to work, and they have not been getting an opportunity to really work. So I was hoping AOP got the victory because, you give them 2 weeks to get a match against Awesome Truth at the pay-per-view or PLE, and they don't even got to win it, but just giving them that moment to shine a little bit would have been cool. Instead, we're getting Finn Balor and JD McDonough. They pull out the victory with help from Carlito. Now, early in the night, Carlito was with Dominic Mysterio and the Judgment Day. So we're looking at them like they're trying to say that they want to recruit Carlito. Damian Priest wasn't for it, but this maneuver to help them secure the victory with Carlito helping them, I think, kind of rubbed Damian Priest the right way. But he's like, yo, we don't need no. Pretty much, we don't need no bitches in Judgment Day. Like you need to handle your shit with Rey Mysterio. Don't be no coward. All right, so we'll see how that transpires if Carlito does enter Judgment Day. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I personally don't necessarily want Carlito in any group. I think Carlito does best by himself as a solo heel. But I see what we're doing here. He's a veteran who's putting over younger talent, just putting him to match with Rey Mysterio, and just seeing us feud with them two. Really just doesn't really get anybody else over. So him being in a group, I do get what they're doing here. And then, I mentioned Jey Uso in the main event defeated Ilya Dragunov. And I mean, let's just talk about that entrance, man. Jey Uso's entrance is incredible right now. It keeps evolving. Since he's become babyface, it just keeps evolving. He added the hand motions, and now they've dimmed the lights so everybody can bring out the fireflies, just like we saw in France, and everybody's waving their hands up and down with their lights on their phone. Incredible entrance. And this also was one of my favorite matches of the night. Ilya Dragunov, I'm not sure if I'm saying the name right, but he's incredible. He puts on bangers all the time. And his intensity, I think, is very much needed on Raw. Like there's certain people that need it. Like I think him and Braun Breaker in particular, bring a certain type of intensity when they're in that ring that's needed, and kind of like sparks the matchup. There's no downtime. There's no time to be casual, in the match. And typically somebody gets busted open the hard way. Jay got busted open his ear like the hard way a little bit. Looks like he got a little nick over there, and Ilya, of course, busted his lip probably. But the match was very physical, as it always is with Ilya. And I was hoping he would pull off the victory on low kick, even though I'm wearing the Jey Uso for sure. I'm a big fan of Jay, but I'm seeing what Ilya can bring to the roster, and I thought him and Gunther would be a great match to just have be the main event next week. But instead, it looks like we're going to get Gunther and Jey Uso, which is a great match in itself as well. But we've seen that not too long ago, But it's a rematch there. For the winner will be going into the finals for the King of the Ring against the SmackDown side of the bracket. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I don't know if Jey Uso, because Jey Uso keeps getting big moments and losing. That has been, as much as he's over right now, he's getting big moment after big moment after big moment and losing in those big moments. At some point, we got to give him a victory. And I don't think that even the King of the Ring is the best thing. Like King Jay, is that really what we're going with this? I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me. You got to leave a comment. Do you want to see King Jay? Do you want to see King Gunther? Or do you want to see somebody else on the SmackDown side of the roster win this crown? Me personally, I said last week, I think King Gunther just makes perfect sense after what he's done over the past year and everything. So I'm going with Gunther. Sorry, Jay. Main event, Jay. That's my guy, though. But yeah, that's how the show ended. There's not much to discuss for next week. I think we got, obviously the semifinal matches, and I'll be back here on Friday to discuss the SmackDown Fallout and what matches we'll be getting in the finals on that side of the bracket to see, all right, who's going to be potentially in the King of the Ring match finale at King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. You guys leave a like, definitely subscribe, comment, do all that good shit. All is love and everything is wrestling. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.